Hey guys, I just want to make a little video for you guys. If you're not too sure on how to use Clrmamepro, this is the easiest way that I had to pick it up, and I had to learn it by myself basically because there was no help as far as online unless it was in another language other than English. So there's not too many videos on YouTube or whatever, but we'll make it as simple as we can. Um, what you want to do is go to mamedev.emulab.it/clearmamepro, and I just put that link in one of the groups. So let's get started. That's Clearmamepro. Let's go to downloads, and right here is you've got the latest version. You got 32-bit and you got 64-bit, and it's best to get the zip version if you have a 64-bit operating system, or if you have a 32-bit operating system, just depends. So grab that. Like I say, grab the zip. It's a lot easier. You don't have to worry about your antivirus going off if it's an executable. But anyway, I've got a 64-bit Windows 10, so that's what I do, and it saves it. But I already have it on my system, so we'll just go from there. Um, So we can go out of that. I'll hit cancel for that. But when we actually open up Clrmamepro, I've got it here in my main folder. Basically, when you set it up and extract it, then it gives you all these file folders, and there's the executable for it. So what you want to do is, once you have it, extracted and put into whatever drive, then you have all these folders. So we're going to click on Clrmamepro, and it's going to bring up this little profiler. And you're not going to have all these because these are all of my actual existing emulators and whatnot. So you'll see a folder here that says profiles. What we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to hit create. So I hit create, and it's create a profile directory from emulators. So what we want to do is we want to get main, and we create one for MAME. So here's file name. So we're going to click on this little browse for executable, and we're going to go to the MAME folder where MAME UI64 executable, and we're going to click it and we're going to hit open. That places that right there. So whatever your directory, and it's looking for that MAME UI64 executable. And then description, we can put either MAME, or since I already have MAME and I don't want to, mess anything up, you can type it MAME UI64. But for this demonstration, because 189 is the newest version out there, I'm going to label it as 1.189. Otherwise, you can title it MAME UI64. And of course, you got emulator, but we want to go for MAME because that's what we're working with. And you hit create profile, and it's going to put it into a profile. You just hit OK. Should we use settings for defaults as default settings? Otherwise, standard default settings will be used. We're going to hit yes. And now it put it over there. See, that's why I didn't want to, confuse the one I already have. So what we do is we hit on the one we just created, and the one that you titled MAME UI64 is going to be the only one here. Okay, so we're going to double click that. It's going to load the cache file, which you just saw it do, and what it does is it reads from the MAME executable. Okay, so just follow that, and we'll come back over here, bring it up. We're going to go to settings, and this is where it gets, it's not that hard, but it's kind of, one of those things where this has to be correct if you're going to do it right. So ROM path up here, and because it's already set to my other one, we're going to hit change, and we're going to go to our MAME folder, to it here. We're going to go to ROMs. So in your MAME folder, and if you've got a updated 0.189 version of MAME, then you should be good to go. So in MAME, and like I said, this is, you know, from your directory, you go to MAME, and we go to ROMs. Okay. Now you'll see the CHD. I have a separate folder for CHDs, and I'll show you that in a second. But we go to ROMs and we hit OK. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, if this is the way you have yours set up, it's a lot easier for me to do it this way, and I kind of recommend it just because it's a lot easier. So we go to Add. If you have your CHDs in your MAME folder, or if you don't even have CHDs, just because of limited space, then this is the extra line you're going to add, or extra folder, as soon as it catches up to CHDs. Those are all my CHDs, all in separate folders, and like I said, I'll show you that here in a minute. So now we have two lines, okay? One for the ROMs, one for the CHDs. Then we come over here to sample. We're going to go add. And a lot of games have samples. So again, we're going to go to our MAME. I have one entire hard drive set up just for MAME. So we're going to go to MAME, and we're going to go to samples. And we hit OK. And that should be it. All these other things we don't need to do. So all we need is the ROMs and the samples. Okay? Then we come over here, we're going to hit Save as Default. All these other things, there's a backup folder that as you get more versions in and more ROMs and everything, just leave these the way they are, because it's already set up with Clrmamepro for backup and also downloads. So we're going to hit Save as Default. Okay, we'll close that. Now we're going to go to Scanner, and this little window pops up. Now, when I have collected all the MAME ROMs since 1997, when they first started coming out, I've always used split sets. A lot of people use merge sets, and what that does is it gets rid of all of the clones or the different bootleg versions. I choose to have a complete 100% set, so I always put split sets. And what it does is it looks for all those clones, all those bootlegs, everything. Okay? Leave these alone, and what we want to scan is the sets, the ROMs, the samples, and if you have CHDs, great, it's going to look for those too. If you haven't gotten the CHDs, which are the larger games like Area 51, Carnival, Killer Instinct, I think is one, then you check mark that. If you want to do a complete scan of everything, then that's what you're going to do, is select all 4 of those. Now before we do anything as far as fixing, we're going to scan it anyway. Don't worry about this whole column. Don't worry about these two. So what we're going to do is we're going to check first. We're going to check what's missing and the unneeded and the MAME size, date, all that kind of stuff. Just keep all those checked. Do not do any of these just yet, because that's where a lot of people get confused, is because they check this and then all of the ones that they're missing or the ones that they are not sure of, they all get dumped into the backup folder over here. So once we have all that set, do not check these, hit split sets, and don't worry about this, and we'll hit new scan. And it's going to scan all the unneeded. And basically, since I have 100% already, it's already scanned you know, I'm 100%. So it's not going to find anything missing or anything. Um, if it does find missing, those are the ones you're going to need. And there's different sites out there that you can get all the different ROMs from. I'm not going to say where just because that's what Google is for. So as it scans, and it doesn't take very long, it depends on, you know, your hard drive and your computer. It could take, you know, this is probably not even a minute on my system just because I have a very large hard drive and also a fast computer. Okay, and now it's found everything. So in here, this is your status report. It will say what's missing. As far as the fixed, it will say what's ever fixed. Let's say wrong names or anything like that, wrong size. It'll fix that. So it's pretty cool as far as, you know, what it does as far as the latest version of Maine. And over here in this window, the scan results, it'll show the version. And if you are missing any, it will list them all here. And those are the ones you have to go and find and whatnot. So that's the easiest way to do Clrmamepro. And here's the active sets. There's parents, there's clones, there's others, there's the BIOS. So it scans everything. And like I said, when you do the split sets, it won't, or when you do split sets, it'll list like the clones and the others. It'll list the bad dumps and all that kind of thing. If you do merge sets, it won't. Well, I'm not sure if it will, but the parents, the clones, uh, they might not even be scanned. So, or it will combine them. Okay, so now what we do is we hit this, and it checks all of those there. So if you have any that are wrong named or wrong size or anything like that, or it's in the wrong place, it's going to fix them. So we're going to hit new scan again, and this won't take very long this time. So as it scans, it's looking for anything that has, like I said, wrong name or wrong value, wrong size, and it will prompt you. And if it comes up and it says, do you want to rename or delete, it will say here yes or yes to all or no. Don't be afraid to hit yes to all, because with the newest version of 189, there's some MAME ROMs that are no longer needed, like the different ROMs and that kind of thing. They're no longer needed for 189. So this is it's including whatever 189 has as far as the version. So that's pretty much it. Um, if you do get a new version of, let's say, when 0.190 comes out, that's when you come over here, and I'm going to go back up one. I have a folder called Update, and it's empty right now, but all of the update ROMs will go in here, so that way when I come over here to Rebuilder, I'm going to select my source file. It's Update. So these are going to be for the new versions, you know, to come. So all the new ROMs will go in here, and that's going to be a whole nother video, but that's pretty much what it is there. And destination, same thing, it goes into the ROMs folder. So that's the destination. So a little quick guide for that, and then you hit rebuild. I'm not going to hit rebuild because there's nothing in there. So, and again, split sets. Hopefully that helped you out. And like I said, you know, I've looked for videos on how to set up Clrmamepro, but they're all in a different language, which is fine for everybody else. But in English, yeah, there's nothing out there. So Have a good night. If you have any questions, feel free. I think I might just upload this to YouTube also, so that way it's there. All right. Good night and happy gaming.